stop right about now.
What is up, guys? It is the one, the only, the NappaYT / Saiyan Elite, whatever you want to call me. I go by many titles. How are you all doing? Welcome to the second episode of the SaiyaCast. That's right, and I am so excited. First, we had the one and only Salute, Rose Goku Black, also known as Koi. And now we have an equally awesome and special guest, Mr. Abridged Goku. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing quite fine. Thank you so much for having me here. Also, Rose's called the Salute, and everybody else calls me the Manho, so take it for what you will.
Well, I mean, those are equally honoring and lovely titles. First off, I need to say thank you so much for being here. This is so awesome. You know, I've been trying to get some guests for the SaiyaCast, and you were very willing to come on and just kind of show us the person behind the Goku voice, and I'm super excited. So, should we just dive into it, or what?
Yeah, let's just dive into it. First of all, actually, I'm a big fan of yours, so yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, well, you know what? That just it gets me right in the heart. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Oh, that is a real honor coming from you. I mean, you know what? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it because I want to talk about you as a YouTuber, you as a person, the awesome growth you've had, the struggles you've gone through. We're going to cover all of it. So, first question, Mr. Abridged Goku. When did you start voice acting?
When did I start voice acting? Well, if I can break character, if you don't mind.
Of course, of course.
Well, when I started voice acting originally, I'd say close to 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had been just doing lots of impressions. I watched a lot of cartoons as a kid, and I just got so obsessed with the idea of mimicking these characters. You ever know how you're a kid and you love to role play as a kid?
Right. No, definitely. Did that all the time as a kid.
I would do a lot of that from The Kids Next Door, Dragon Ball Z, Avatar The Last Airbender, you name it. And voice acting just came naturally to me. I just had a natural, charismatic personality.
Right, right. So it was something that kind of, it was easy for you to come into.
Yeah, it just fit my personality, even though in reality I was a shy person.
Right, right. Well, it seems like a lot of voice actors are. You know, you see these big voice actors at cons, and they're actually quite shy and quite humble and, quite soft spoken, which I always thought was something so cool. You know, they play these big, huge characters with these awesome voices, and in reality, they're just kind of quiet people.
Me, as somebody who has been very shy, I guess it would depend on the right person. If I feel I have good chemistry with somebody, I can let my, geekiness come out more, depending on that person.
Right. No, definitely.
But as for voice acting, 5 years ago, I just said, I can do a bit more of this. So I started going on Cast Call Club and some other sites a few years down the road. My first voice acting experience was, I want to say I did, and like I said, it was a fan thing. It wasn't really nothing professional. It was doing some auto recordings with a friend of mine for his show. He was putting on a show in his friend's backyard, and he was good at editing, and I played Goku. That was my first time doing the Abridged Goku voice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, dude, you sound just like Moscow X. And I was like, well, who's Moscow X? He plays Goku. I said Sean Schemmel's Goku.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome.
And when he showed me the video, I was like, what the hell is this? I'm not gonna lie, I did not like Team 4-Star when I first saw their first videos. Like,
yeah, I mean, I thought the first episodes were super cringy, but I mean, it's something that grows on you.
It grew on me when I hit the Frieza saga. Well, really, Nappa was like, the Nappa stuff was really, I thought was good in the first season, but the Frieza sagas were really kicked off for me, and I really started to vibe, and I thought they got their groove.
Same.
So I did that, and I did more acting, if anything. Like I do singing on the side.
I mean, I've heard you sing, and you are quite the singer, sir.
I'm saying this from my own bubble. I don't think I'm that good. I think I'm okay.
I think you're very good, and I think your fans would agree. I mean, you've done a lot of covers, and you've done a lot of interesting stuff. And I mean, I've never heard you sing badly, and I've listened to you sing quite a bit.
I appreciate that, but I think as a singer, I think we're the most hardest on ourselves when it comes to singing in general.
True.
As far as when YouTube came out, I've been a fan of YouTube since it first came out, but I've never done anything. I was always one of those guys that would, be in the comments and comment my opinions, and just a regular fan. And like I said, one of my biggest inspirations on YouTube was Dash EXP. Just loved his energy, that big charismatic energy, which he still does to this very day. There's a lot of YouTubers I really, really enjoy, but he's one of those guys that I really saw back in 2011 and just stuck with them for these last 7 years.
Right. Well, that's 7 years ago now. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was a teenager back then.
Oh my goodness. So that's a good segue to our next question, which is, so you decided to start a channel. You're taking that big step. Why did you choose to brand yourself as Abridged Goku? Because when everybody makes these channels, they need to decide what is their personality going to be, what character are they going to try to emulate. Why did you pick the character you did?
It's a great question, which I was going to segue into actually. My original channel was originally given to me by my friend, who I'll just call Moose because that was his nickname. He had a channel called Twins of Sanity. This was back in 2010. And he really didn't know what to do. He did some videos, live action videos, and they were okay, I guess, for the time. Cringy now, but they were okay for the time. And he's like, dude, you can just have my account. Twins of Sanity is an alias for Twins of Sanity from the Crash Bandicoot games.
Right.
So I just took that, didn't know what to do with it. I saw these YouTubers, and I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm so camera shy. But after a few years of just like missing my opportunity, I was seeing all these guys just doing crazy things. Like, I can do that. Or I saw people who I thought, if they can do it, then I can do it too. Right? After 2017, I said, I'm going to do this. Originally, I started doing Star Wars stuff. I would do Star Wars comic dubs. I even got a big part as Lord Darth Vader on Xylophony's channel, which is still there. He still has me pegged as Twins of Sanity.
You should send me a link to that. I'd love to hear your Darth Vader.
It's in my collabs. I have every collabs I've done is in my collab feature. I just added that.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at that.
So I did that for like a year, but I wasn't really, my subscriber count wasn't growing. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I just work with a guy who has 200 some subs. I thought I was doing pretty good for myself. But after a while, then I saw this YouTuber. She had no subscribers, but she was funny. And that turned out to be Lily, who was the Majin Android 21's channel.
Yes.
I instantly fell in love with her voice. And she responded, and she was one of the first like YouTubers to really have a back and forth with me. And I was her very first subscriber. I joined her Discord, met Bardock and a few other people who I was happy to call my friends. We started joking around and playing around with Team 4-Star, because by this time I was a big Team 4-Star fan, this was just last year.
Right.
No, I wouldn't say last year. Early this year, really.
Okay.
And I kept doing lots of Abridged Goku voices, and it's like, dude, you sound so good. I'm like, well, thank you. And I would joke around with other voices, and I said, you know what? Maybe I should join the DBZ community, because they kept egging me on to join, and I'm such a big Dragon Ball fan, but I'm doing the Star Wars stuff. I'm doing comic dubs. I wanted to dub the whole Vader comic series. I was editing it, but it was so exhausting and stressful having to the editing process. I have such respect for anybody who edits.
When you watch those videos, you don't take it into account, because I've watched a lot of those Star Wars comic dubs because I love them. I love listening to them. But yeah, that editing it looks simple, but it's really not.
Like, so much so I did good, because even Crate Dragon Films, who does, I think are some of the best ones who does it, they complimented me. They wanted to work with me. And then there was movie voiceover dubs who also complimented me. And I thought I was doing pretty well, but in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe I should switch genres. I'm always going to be a Star Wars fan, but Dragon Ball, if I had to choose between the two, that's a tough one. But I am going to pick Dragon Ball, because that was my first ever anime I ever watched. It's still my favorite anime of all time. And if I have an opportunity, I'm going to jump in there. So I rebranded and changed it to Abridged Goku.
Okay. So was that jumping into my next question, was that overwhelming at first? Because I mean, you go in, you watch people, you watch the bigger character channels, and you go, oh, that can't be that hard. But then you find out, okay, you need a good mic, you need editing software, you need edit, you need background, you need to know how to do these videos. Was that overwhelming for you at first? Because I mean, you want that level of quality, but it can be kind of daunting when you first get into it and you don't really know all that much about what you're going into.
Me, as someone who had been watching reaction channels since it first came out, I knew that, everything you were saying, I had all that in some. That was part of the big reason why I didn't make that jump for those 4 years. I just everything you just said, mic quality, wanting to sound good. But what really changed my mind was that year before, and when I sung live in front of an audience, a TV audience, that's something I thought I'd never do. And we were live on television, and I got to sing. And a kid walked up to me and he said, "Can I have your autograph?"
Dude, oh my, that's so cool.
And I thought, like, okay, if I had the balls to go on live in national TV and just sing, what would YouTube do? Like, I'm a guy behind the computer screen, and people saw my face and they said, this kid's not bad. So that really gave me my confidence boost. I said, you know what, if I may not have the right mic quality and all this stuff, but if my personality is good enough, I think people will, they'll say, he's good enough to say he doesn't have the best quality, but I like what he does.
Right.
And I'll stay subscribed to him, hopefully.
Right. No, I completely get that, because, nobody gets it perfect their first video. I'm so glad that my first videos are deleted forever and gone into the ether, because, oh my goodness, they're awful. They're so bad.
When I first started, actually, and this was I took this as the world's biggest compliment and insult, because there was a fan. I'm assuming he was a Team 4-Star fan. Mm-hmm. Now, this has been, I think I've told this story to a lot of my friends. He basically insulted my channel like I was the Moscow X, but he did it in the way that made him believe I was Moscow X. And he said, if you didn't, then dude, you are a great voice actor. And I was just taken back, like, I'm confused and happy at the same time.
I would have no idea how to react to that. So he thought you were Masako, so he insulted you like you were Masako, but then he said, if you're not Masako, you're awesome.
He said you did a damn good voice impression, basically, because I guess he accused Masako of selling out with Team 4-Star for working with Funimation or whatever.
Oh.
I didn't know. I didn't know the story. I didn't want to, but I was like, okay then. And I said, if I can convince this guy who I don't like, got beef with people I don't know, I can do this. In bad mic and all, and I was using my desktop mic, believe it or not. Oh,
wow.
Lord.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
desktop mic. Oh, dude, having to deal with that background quality, all
that.
Shh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. But
believe it or not, people started watching, though. I started doing reaction, and honestly, me about the reaction community, I just love doing reactions. But my thing about reactions, if you're gonna do it, you have to really be into it. I'm not gonna watch somebody who has no interest, and you're just looking at the screen. If you have no real interest in showing emotion and expression in what you're doing, then that's just, there's no fun in it. Just like when you know how you show your friends, because reaction videos to me are like, hey buddy, I want you to see this. You want to see that expression of your friend to this video. Or like if you're getting somebody into an anime, you want to know their reaction. You want to know how they feel about it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that's what I felt I could do, because I always go crazy over whatever I react to if I'm really into it. And I would never react to something if I'm not into it, because I feel like it's fake. I don't want to give a fake reaction.
Mm-hmm. No, for me, reactions have to be something that, like, you add something new to what, because I see so many reaction channels, not really in the Dragon Ball community, but it's just some person watching a video. The video's going in the corner, and you just hear, oh, ooh, ah, look at that. And for me, that's just it doesn't feel genuine, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I totally agree. So, okay, moving on to the next question. So I mean, you've experienced some major success, and I mean major. and I'm not trying to puff you up or like bow down to you. I'm just stating the facts. I mean,
Thank you, sir.
You just reached over 9,000 subs, which is crazy, and it's so much more than what you previously had, which we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Did you expect to be this successful?
When I came in, into YouTube, I felt like I had a goal in mind. My goal was to reach 1,000 subs. Like if I said, if I can reach 1,000 subs, I can do this, because that's when YouTube was going off and saying, you have to have 1,000 hours of watch time, 4,000 hours of watch time, 1,000 subs, which didn't bother me at the time. I was like at 326 subs, and I was just enjoying what I was doing. But I wasn't doing anything at that time really when that happened. And I just said, you know what, just go in. If you can get 1,000 subs, then you stick with it. And if you can't, then maybe YouTube just isn't for you. For me, I learned. I watched videos on how to do this, how to properly edit your videos, how to upload them right, and I really wanted to learn. And I was trying to be a student of the game, so I came in obviously nervous and palms were sweaty, as Eminem would say.
Right.
But overall, I came in, I said, you can't come in with the mindset that you're not going to make it, otherwise you're going to fail. Mm-hmm. If you already believe you failed before you even came in the door, there's just no point. And so I came in very confident. Obviously, in the back of my head, there was that nervousness, but I came in strong and I wanted to succeed, and that's what I was going for.
I love that. I love that confidence, and it's something, as long as I've known you, you've always had. You've always had that confidence, which is, I think when you're in YouTube, you need that. You can't really be soft and be in YouTube.
Correct. Very correct. And as someone, and this, I'm not a soft person. I've always said to myself, I'm erratic. I have my times where I can be the softest, nicest guy in the world. I can be rational. I can be outright annoying. I can be brash. But I want to make sure that I check myself in all areas, so I can become a decent person. Not a perfect person, not a bad person, just someone who you can say, hey, that guy's pretty cool.
And I listen, I think you're pretty cool. I just want to lay that out there right now.
I appreciate that.
I mean, obviously, you have over 9,000 people that think you're cool, which, in reality, I'm sorry, I can't get over the fact that you're already at over 9,000 subs. To me, that's just, I was so happy when I saw that.
I was happy, but in my mind, I never think I'm better than anybody. Even somebody who's below me, I don't think I'm ever better than them, especially if I personally think they're better than myself. And me, 9,000, it's a lot to a lot of people, and I know it's a lot to a lot of people, so I'm not trying to undercut it, but I'm that person who's like, okay, I got here, so what's the next step,
Right.
I'm that type of person, like, you made it here, but what's the next step? And I had that, and that's what taught me about that's what I learned from the old channel, is that, because I got caught up in it towards the end, I got like, hey, I'm at 4K, I wasn't cocky or anything, but I was getting excited and getting happy, which there's nothing wrong with that, but
right.
I got a little caught up in it. I wasn't so concerned about the future, on what's the next step. And now I'm at that point where I learned where, yeah, I'm doing great, but I have to have a goal. My first goal, get back to where I was. Second goal, 5K. Next goal, 10K. I'm getting close to there. Where I go from there, 15K. I want to keep, breaking down those barriers and getting to those goals that I want.
Yeah, I mean, keep grinding, man. And that's another aspect that you need to have when you're starting YouTube. You need to be constantly shooting higher, and you need to be wanting more. You need to be ambitious, along with being tough. And I think you exhibit both those things, very well. And it's shown, especially since, I mean, you had this thing. You already had built up this fan base. I think you said 4K, and then your channel got terminated. And I remember that happening because it either happened right before or right after mine got terminated.
Yes.
how did you bounce back from that? Because I mean, I'm there with you. I know how that feels. We were at about the same number of subs. You know, same. It happened in the same way. I know how I feel about it, but how did you bounce back?
Well, to explain that, it has to explain how I felt when it happened. And like I said, it wasn't that long ago. Like, it was a few months ago, you know? Which I guess that shows how. I guess that shows.
Yeah,
how
it
much
would be
we
like
bounced
it'd be
back.
like June or July.
June, definitely.
Yeah,
was
was it-
mine was
yeah,
in
it was
June.
June.
June 24th, I believe. And what was going on at that time was I was working on my next cover song. You know, me and Sale was going to do some things, the Chill channel. And I just kept getting these swarm of like, you know, well, before that, people were telling me, because I had heard that Yamcha got deleted. I think Nappa got, your channel got deleted, and I was like, and I felt bad because at that time I didn't know you guys, but you guys are part of the community. I was like, oh God. And I didn't know how you guys are going to bounce back from that, but you guys had such good friends. And the only thing I was worried about, what I was concerned about was getting monetized at that time. Because I couldn't worry about everybody else, but in the back of my mind, I was like, are they going to get me next? And I was wondering how you guys are going to bounce back. And when I heard that channels were going to get approved, that's all I was waiting for. I said, I'm just going to wait and be patient. And then I'm working on my next cover song, and my Discord blows up. It's just lots of people messaging me. I'm like, I never had that many messages before. And they're just saying, I'm sorry, Abridged. I'm sorry, this and that. I'm like, what? Sorry about what? What's going on? And that's when CL broke the news to me that my channel had been deleted. And you're in disbelief. You don't want to believe that.
Oh, dude. I remember exactly where I was. I was sitting on my couch. I had just got done, recording a reaction. Because what I usually do is I record them, and then I kind of take a break, let my mind refresh. I come back, I edit them, and do all that stuff. And so I was sitting on my couch relaxing, and I just thought I would check, my subscription feed, see if anything was happening. And it, you get that dreaded message saying, account unavailable, something like that. Yeah. And then you go to your email and you see the emails and you just go, man, that's it.
I couldn't, my heart skipped a beat.
Yeah.
And with me, I went to my YouTube Studios. If nobody had YouTube Studios, it tracks everything, your watch time, your viewers, all that stuff, which I recommend any YouTuber who is a YouTuber to use it. It saves you a lot of time. You don't have to use Social Blade for it. So I checked that, and it was not there. I went to my YouTube thing. It's like, yeah, you had your channel due to yada 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 spam, which they never tell you about.
No.
Or gave you a reason. Your channel has been terminated, and I couldn't talk, and they were just everybody trying to check on me. I just said I didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
I didn't want to talk about it. I just.
Oh man, I feel this.
And I said it in the most nice, polite way as I could, because I know it's not their fault, and I know what they're trying to do, but I did not want to talk to anybody. I was not in the mood for it. And they were very respectful, and I just sat there, and I didn't cry or anything, but inside I probably was, but I just didn't know what to do because from my experience, I had put so much time and effort. Like, this was my hardest effort, but as a whole, I had put a lot of time and effort. I had over 700 over 700 videos put into that. All that combination of work was gone. It wasn't so much that I lost my subscribers, because subscribers will come and go.
Right.
But the work and time you put you put into that was gone, and people can't see that, because I always wanted to say, this is where I started, and then look where I am now. I always want to leave those videos as an example of anybody. Like, hey, you're having a bad time, go check out my cringy videos,
And as much as I said earlier that I was like, yeah, I'm glad that my videos are gone. Part of me, agrees with you that the fact that those really old videos that I made, a year and a half ago, when I was using like iMovie and I was trying to like strip stuff together, and like it was just like the most weird combination. And yeah, I wish I could look back on that too,
because I always looked at it in a lot of ways. It represents where you were in life, and how young, like I said, look at me in my feckless youth, like me at like this age, and then how much you improved over time. And I wanted that to serve to anybody who wanted to be a YouTuber, was cautious about it, like my friend is right now. I want to say, well, look at me. I didn't have nothing,
Right.
And now I went to here, and and I love what really helped was the overwhelming response, the backlash, afterwards, because I didn't, like I said, even though I was getting into I was almost believing how good I was getting in my growth. I never believed myself to be bigger than anybody. Never have. And the overwhelming support that my friends gave me, because that was my biggest solace from that channel, that I made a lot of friends. And I didn't shy away from it. I said, if you want friends, you need to go out there and show them that you're worth something. Make them laugh, do this, be yourself, and make them think you're worth their time. And, CL, Bardock, Majin 21, I made a good amount of friends, and they had my back, I didn't know Mark at the time. I actually got to talk to him in between that time of making a new channel, and,
Right.
But they, Lady Z, she really went to the bat for me. Goddess Cresselia, Koi, like I said, Koi, yeah, and like I said, CL. Those were like, and Bardock as well. Saying Mimi, and my fans. that was really surprising, seeing my fans who, because I would look around, I would type in my name, and then they would say, "Where's Abridged Goku's channel? What happened? F you, YouTube," and that's what really made me say, I can't walk away from this, because I don't want to. If I walk away from this right now, then everything you put into that channel is gone, and the people who you work so hard to entertain, channels come and go, and ultimately they can find something, but they don't want it. Doesn't mean it has to end. You decide when it ends, not YouTube. You have to decide if you want to end it, and I didn't want to end it there.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, I had it's like our experience are so similar that it's frightening. I mean, but yeah, I remember that, because I remember going on Discord and thinking, you know what, like, nobody's gonna know, nobody's gonna, there's not gonna be a big uproar. I'm just gonna disappear. I'm gonna fade away. And then, like, I was getting all these messages from people saying, hey man, we want to help. Hey man, I'm making a video. Hey man, I'm uploading a video telling YouTube that this is stupid. And I exactly what you said. It's that support that made me keep going, as well as you.
Indeed. And that's why the first thing I did a couple times was I made sure to make an appreciation video and a remnants, because the one thing I was so happy, and I was really so happy I did this, as I had put all my content on a backup, not on a backup channel, but I put on a new channel called Top Buzz. All of them didn't make it through, but a good chunk, definitely good chunk of it made it and got passed. And I would put links in my old videos, like when I was talking about the remnants of Abridged Goku, and I just told my story, and I said, if you're interested in seeing what I did, so I still have a good chunk of those memories, at least on another site. It's not on YouTube, but it's on another site. I tried uploading them. Apparently, you can't really upload videos from Top Buzz, and if you do, they're in low quality, but they're still there at least.
Right.
And
they exist.
They're not just gone forever. Now I was so happy that I was coherent enough to at least do that. So at least so it wasn't all in vain, and that also really helped as well. So now I'm back. I have to make this new channel, and I have to make this work. And I said I need to I didn't want to change anything too much, but I wanted to make it better. I got me a new mic, a Blue Snow, which was a good startup. I still use it to this day. I wanted to use more atrocity. I wanted to do a bit more things. I wanted to get better backgrounds. I wanted to just fluff up the channel a bit, not so much change it, but improve upon it. And I felt that, as bad as it was a good life lesson. It's something my dad always told me as well, that when we were talking about this, it was something that I really think I got smart from, because now I went in with nothing to lose. I said, what else are you going to take this channel from me too? Now I'll just make another one. And I just kept grinding and growing. I didn't expect to grow the fast way. Like, in that day, I was already at 800. In the same day I made my channel, I was already at 800 subscribers. And just overwhelming support from Koi, CL, just everybody who I had become friends with, genuinely. Like,
That's
I didn't
insane. That's insane.
Because I always felt like, if I'm going to form a partnership with you, I'll let you know up front that I want to work with you, but it's not just to have a working relationship. I want to be friends with you because I felt the best chemistries are with your friends. You know, I've always had good chemistry with people who I genuinely feel are my friends because we laugh, we talk about stuff, even if it's stuff we don't care about, we joke around with it, and they just was really good. And when they were talking about it, you know how we were talking about fans who were pouring their hearts out on YouTube.
Right.
The comments, that's what really helped too. The comments on my friends' channel when they talked about my channel, and the comments like, "Oh, he got deleted. I was gonna subscribe to him," or "I would subscribe to him on YouTube," or lots of hashtag kill YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh Lord, but yeah, I had to bounce back from it. I just had to. So I came in with a new mindset and said, just keep grinding your butt off, but also improve yourself while you're doing it. Don't lose yourself. Improve yourself. It's not the time to lose yourself into this. You know.
Yeah.
So live streams, a bit more reaction on a crappy computer, by the way, which I'm using right now. But you're not crappy right now because you're working. So
right.
You know, so it just kind of sped up from there. The next thing I know, within that month, and that was my biggest achievement. And not only did I bounce back, I surpassed my original goal and hit 5K within that 1 month period. Yeah. Which it took me to get that 4K. It took me 3 months, and I thought that was pretty fast. But then I bounced back and I got to 5K within 1 month. And like I said, I thought part of that was from my work ethic, the overwhelming support, and my friends. Those combinations right there, I thought, is what helped make this channel right here bigger than it ever was before.
Right. No, I agree. And on a happier note, moving from terminations and eliminated channels, the second part of this little talk, I want to get into the community, and so I want to preface that by asking you, what do you think makes your channel, Abridged Goku, what makes you unique? Because there are so many character channels out there. There's a lot of Gokus out there. What makes you you? I
think what makes me is me, if I'm going to be honest with you. Because when I see a lot of character channels, you know that whole cliche is that you have to sound like the character to be the channel, which to a certain extent I think they're not wrong, but at the same time, it wouldn't be a character channel if they just sounded like the other character, you know? At least from my opinion, you know, you can sound like the character all you want, but you have to have a different personality. I look at Bulma Bunny, she sounds like Bulma Bunny, but she's different. She's her own thing, you know? Prince Vegeta, Devil Artemis, they all can sound like the character, but they're different versions of that character, and that's what we love. If we wanted to see the original characters, we'll just watch the show, you know?
Right. No, you're exactly right. It's that creativity.
That's what I learned, and when I took away from all those bigger channels was be something unique and different. And I wanted to take Goku originally. I wanted to take Goku and just make him even more wackier than that of the abridged version, because that's what I was taking. Because I wasn't focused on Funimation Goku. I was focused on Abridged Goku. What can I do to be different but similar to that Goku?
Yeah.
I started, he loves Muffin, so I'll add that in. And that kind of blew up, He's the Muffin King now. Yep. And then Lily just came in and just flipped everything, because my character wasn't supposed to be similar to Koi's character in that he's a man-ho, Koi's a slut. He was not supposed to be anywhere near that. He was actually supposed to be innocent that girls would flock to in a friendly manner, but then me and Lily played around with it, and then she did the whole man-ho thing, and it kind of stuck. It just sort of stuck, right. And I started doing it with more people, and it's like...
Well, there are so many things that, you don't plan for your characters to be. And I guess if I had an example, my best example would probably be King Vegeta. Mm-hmm. A year ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the reaction as this dude. And I thought it would be a one-off thing. I actually expected people to say, oh, please don't do that again. That was so cringy. And now it's like, I would argue King Vegeta is probably the most popular thing on my channel. And, the whole, greetings, peasants, and all that stuff.
Yep, I like that.
You just don't expect this stuff to happen. And, your channel just goes in a direction where you do not plan because... this is what the subscribers want. This is what they like. And at the end of the day, you work for the subscribers, that's who you're doing it for. So
And yeah, when it happened, it was like, okay, well, this is working. And still to this day, you know, people want me to make a Discord. I don't want to make a Discord. It sounds like too much work. And just people just kept egging me on to do it. It was my own fans. Like they really wanted to be part of the community. But I also took it. I got smart. And I said, you know what? Make it so you have a place where your fans could go. If anything, this is a place where your fans could go, have a good time, and make some more friends. Because I thought about it with my old channel, and I was like, I made friends on Discord.
Right.
That's how I did it.
Yep.
And if anything, I want to inspire other people who want to be a YouTube channel and stuff. And so I said, screw it, I'll do it. I'm gonna make a Muffin Kingdom, and I did it. I had CL's help. She's still helping me out. That's why I made her the Muffin Queen on the Discord.
Right. No, I love that. I love that role.
Guys for Celia, Koi. I just brought you in, and I just wanted this place to be a place where nerds or people who are similar to me, or even if they're not, they're welcome to come here and take a load off and just have fun. Because I didn't want to be too strict. I follow the rules and guidelines of Discord. As long as they follow those guidelines, I'm happy. Just
right.
Don't come in. Just come in, have a good time, have a muffin. Don't be a spoiled muffin, and just have fun with your friends. Get into talks. I talk to and I think that's what when you said what separated me, I talked to a lot of people. When I live stream, I make sure I try to answer as many people as I possibly can, and that was the one thing they asked. What do you like about me the most? They said, you actually talk to us. Other big YouTubers, because they're so big, they can't talk or respond to the fans. And I thought that was just so sad. It's not on them. They just got to that level. And that was always my biggest fear, is that I get too big. I can't answer a lot of people. But at least on Discord, I can at least try.
Yeah.
I have an opportunity to answer as many as I can. It gets overwhelming,
No, definitely. And I can only imagine how much stuff you have to answer on the daily. I mean, it's got to be crazy for you. Which leads me into my next question. We kind of talked about earlier how you started, kind of in the Star Wars community, moved over to the DBZ community. Why have you chosen to be a part of this community specifically? Because I mean, the Dragon Ball Z community is awesome, but it also has its problems. So why did you choose to join up and be a part of this thing?
Well, and this, to be honest, I like the Star Wars community, or any community for that matter, will always have bad eggs in them. There's just no getting away around that. And I wasn't really interested at the beginning, because when I was watching YouTube, I didn't even know there was a Dragon Ball community. Like when it first came out, or even 2014 or 15, I didn't even know about the community. I didn't find out about the community until 2016, when I was really getting more into reaction videos. Well, I was already into them, but I was really getting into them. And I just kept seeing a lot of these YouTubers, Prince Vegeta, a Boma Bunny, a Devil Artemis, a Lord Frieza, Gur, and later on I saw CL. Just all these channels, and they're really just interesting. I was like, these guys are really interesting. I'm doing the Star Wars channel at this time, and I'm just mesmerized by how well, even if some of them didn't sound like the character, they were their own character, and that's what attracted me to that. I was attracted to how they portrayed themselves, and how they were just able to be a character. Because if it's one thing to sound like it, but when you're your own thing, and I find it interesting, I'm going to watch you. This is somebody I need to keep a close eye on. And from there, I was like, and since Dragon Ball Z was always my favorite anime, it wasn't really it was almost like a no-brainer. Like, I got to get part of this. This is cool. And I used to do Funimation's Dragon Ball Z character. I used to do impressions of them. I didn't think I was all that great. Then I did Team 4-Star. I was like, some of these characters sounds like me. Like Nappa, I tested with Nappa. It's like whenever, when he would do like a phrase like, hey, Vegeta. Vegeta.
Yeah, I feel you there, buddy.
Just messing around with that. Decided, hey, if they can do this, why can't I? If they, and that was the thing. I was so humbled coming in, because I didn't know how the world was going to perceive me, but to make that transition from, being Twins of Sanity to Star Wars. But at that time, I wasn't that big neither. I was like, I'm at the level where I can make that transition. It's not like going to be a big change. Not that many people were watching me anyway. So if anything, maybe a rebranding was the right thing to do at that time. And obviously I made the right decision.
So, I mean, yeah, like choosing to join that community. I mean, obviously, it's paid dividends. I mean, you've proven to be very successful. You have a very big following. You know, you're working with some very big people. So I have to ask, as someone who is, you know, becoming more influential in the community, do you think that this whole character channel thing, is it moving in the right directions? You know, what are some of the improvements that we can make? Because we're not perfect. You know, there's still a lot of strife. There's still a lot of bitterness, you know, without getting into all of the specific drama. Mm-hmm. How do we improve?
It's a good question, honestly. And I'll tell you this right now, to be 100% honest, I don't know if I'm necessarily the right guy to say. Like I said, everybody has an opinion, you know. You know the old saying, everybody has a butthole and they all talk shit. You know, not to excuse my grammar there.
Of course.
But, you know, from my opinion and how I've seen the YouTube community, all I've ever wanted to do whenever I came in was just to do my own thing, make friends, and work with people along the way. I have no beef with nobody. I've never have, and I'm not trying to have any beef with nobody. And how you can grow is, honestly, if anything, I think you should just work on yourself as a person and look back on, like, say if you had a past beef, maybe look back at it and look at it from the other person's perspective rather than your own, because that's the one thing I've always learned and I've reflected on. If I've ever had a fight with anybody, you know, I would always get so much into my own emotions. I would just say, you know, because I think I'm right.
Right.
It's me. I'm right. That person's clearly wrong, but I never look at it from the other perspective.
Yeah.
And I think anybody who gets into a beef never really does that. They never try to see the other person's perspective or side of things. And that's what I think should be improved upon, more people to understand each other, which is hard to do, you know? It's really hard to do, especially when you think you're right and you have the right to think that you're right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's like we were talking about before we started doing this interview, you know. Every person that you meet should get a fair shake, you know. Things that you've heard about them before shouldn't come into play. Just meet them where they're at and judge them based on, you know, how they treat you. But I mean, it just seems in this community all the time, you know, people are being treated because somebody else told something about them, or rumors got started, or the gossip happened, and that's sad. It's sad that those relationships get broken before they can even start.
And that comes back to also the fans as well. You know, if you're gonna, and even if you have beef with this person, don't ruin it for the people who watch you, because they're gonna pick sides. It's gonna force them to pick a side, and you don't want that. You want this community to come off as, you know, as good as it possibly can. It's not great, but at least make it as good as you possibly can, because it sends a good impression, especially if you're bigger than somebody else, because they're going to be the guy they look to. You know, you're going to be the guy they look up to or take inspiration from, how you do things. And, you know, I've never pictured myself as a role model, you know. But at the same time, if I have beef with somebody, I want it to stay between them. I don't want, you know, I'm not going to attack that channel. I'm not going to say anything bad about that channel. I'm just going to do me and focus on what I do. Even if you have beef with that person, let them be them and you do you. So at least you don't have to be cool with them. I'm not saying anybody has to be cool with anybody, because you don't have to like anybody you don't want to like. You don't. You're a free person. Do whatever you want. But at least don't spread more hatred around. Don't add to it. You need to just, you know, focus on your channel, let them focus on theirs, and just be cool. You know, everybody needs to just be cool. You don't have to like each other, don't have to love each other, but at least be neighborly, if that sounds right.
No,
neighborly.
You're exactly right. I mean, there are so many. It's unfortunate because there are so many YouTubers that used to work together when I first came in, and I won't bring up specific names, but I think, you know, you can take a couple guesses at who I'm talking about. You know, there were these group of people that worked together. The content was there. It was popping. It was amazing. And now all of this drama has happened. And I'm not saying, you know, that I don't still enjoy the content from those individual YouTubers. But I noticed when I went back and I looked at the view count that they were most successful when they worked with one another. And it's sad that we don't have that as much. It was already kind of gone by the time I even got here. So I can't say that I ever was in like the golden age of YouTube where everyone was happy and worked together. And it's not like there wasn't drama back then too. But there doesn't seem to be that camaraderie. But I think there's an up and coming group of YouTubers, that are still small, people like you that are coming up, and they have a different outlook on things.
That's just, the facts of life. Everybody's going to have a different outlook no matter where you go in this world. And, like, I don't have the answers to everything. I'm not God or anything. I'm just me, and all I can ever really be is me. And I take everybody's, what they say, I don't take it in stride, but at the end of the day, I have to come to my own conclusions on things, because that's what everybody else is going to do. I don't try to, make any prejudgments for anybody if I haven't had any experience. I believe what people say, but at the end of the day, the only person I can ever really believe in is myself, and see it for myself determine if it's true or not, when it comes to judging somebody. Because I've seen lots of people prejudge, based on their actions. It's not like from a place of ignorance, but we don't know what that person goes through in their day-to-day lives. We don't know. You just don't. You're not going to know everything about this person. You only know what you see in front of you.
Right.
And that's for any YouTuber, not for anybody in the DBZ community. Any YouTuber, person, celebrity, you only see what you see, and that's what you're going to base it off of.
Okay.
So,
well, I mean, that's deep. I mean, that's some critical advice that I think people need to heed. And I think there's a lesson there. You don't have to be the biggest channel on the site to know what you're doing, or to be successful, or to have it figured out. And it seems to me that you have a lot of this figured out, which is crazy for, you've only been in this game, in this specific community, for a short while, compared to a lot of other YouTubers. So the speed at which you've kind of picked all of this up is really impressive.
And in a lot of ways, I just, and that thing that just comes from me watching on my own. Like, it's not like I just, like, I was, like, new to, like, seeing these guys. I learned from what they were doing. I learned a lot from the people who were in this a lot, way before I came in, learning that, and really just taking whatever I can in and just trying to do the best I can possibly do. And just learning not to care what people think of you, Because that, when I did that singing, I was like, if I can do that, I can do this, and just don't care, what people say. Just focus on trying to be the best you can be the best YouTuber you can possibly be, and whatever drama comes your way, it's gonna happen. Be ready for criticism. Be ready for, because anybody who's trying to do this. And I learned this actually from Alex Clark, the Alex Clark channel. He's there in the cartoon community, because I wanted to get into that originally, but I'm not a good artist.
Right.
The one thing I really picked up from his channel was be ready for criticism, because you're just going to have people that just flat out won't like you for whatever reason it is. And that's okay. But look at focus on the people who really enjoy what you do. I've always said to a channel, if you don't like the channel, you don't have to watch. Or even if you're a troll, you're devoting so much time to that channel. I feel honored that you're devoting all this time to my channel.
I know.
When you could be doing something else.
That's awesome.
And you need to focus on the people who love your content, because your content is not for everyone. My content's not for everyone. Your content, anybody who has content, it's going to be for your people.
Right.
The people who you want. You're not supposed to appeal to everyone. You're supposed to appeal to your people. Your community, your fans, how you want to pronounce people who watch your channel.
Yeah. No,
that's all I've ever said,
You're absolutely right. And this is the perfect segue, because we're going to do a couple of quick questions before we go. And this is going to be about you, and basically, some questions that maybe some of your fans and maybe some of my fans want to know about you. So just kind of a rapid fire round here. Where do you want your YouTube channel to be in a year?
honestly, in a year, I want it to at least be at 50K if I can get it there.
50. I love that. I love how like you're shooting for the stars, and it's not unrealistic, but like you have those high goals.
Have realistic goals, but do not chase them off of a bridge to get them.
Yep. Definitely. Okay. Well, next question. Besides your YouTube channel, I mean, I know you devote a lot of time to this YouTube channel. You're on that grind. Okay, you're getting videos out constantly. What do you like to do besides YouTube?
I love to play video games, and I love anime. Watching anime. I love to write poetry. Story poems. I love to tell stories. I love to wrestle. I love to act. And lastly, I've really been getting into. I really love to play badminton. That's really fun.
Really, that's cool.
I'm aggressive on the badminton course, man.
That's awesome because so many there are a lot of people who think if you're a YouTuber you just kind of sit at your PC all day and you're editing or you're playing video games or kind of the regular stuff, but we live regular lives. We go out, we hang out with friends, we have social lives, we work.
Yeah, I actually said to my friend, I hope I don't get recognized because, they're like, oh, what are you doing here? Well, I come to the same store you do, sir. It's not like we have a special YouTube store. We have bills to pay. We have we have lots of stuff we have to do.
Yeah, we go to YouTube Mart.
Oh yeah.
It's like Costco, except, more exclusive. We just buy all our stuff in bulk because, we don't leave our house for like months at a time. So we need to stock up.
Yeah, so we have a butler that does that for us,
Okay, so for those, speaking of people wanting to meet you, for those of you who are fans out there of Abridged, I'm sure you guys want to meet him, talk to him, in some way interact with him. Abridged, how do they do that? What's the best way for them to do that? Because I know there are bad ways, because I've seen people that, they troll streams, they spam chats, they're just asking all these questions. What's the good way for people to get in contact with you?
The good way, honestly, I've always said this, is, for one, don't ask for shout-outs.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, Lord.
I'm pretty sure every guest that I will ever have on this will say that at some point. Don't ask for shout-outs.
Yeah. Honestly, approach me the way I approach people and be yourself, man. Even if you're a bit overzealous, and you... Like, one fan who I didn't know anything about... They talked to me. They sent me a really endearing message about how I helped them and how much my channel meant to them. And they just I can tell they put a lot of thought into that message. That really grabbed me. And I love people who try their best. And I know I can't get to everyone, but that one really stood out on how much I meant to that person. I said, how can I turn this away? Like when they're trying that hard, and I know the struggle, I know the grind, and I work so hard as well to become friends with as many people as I possibly can. And I think that's one of the best ways. I've always said this, just be yourself. If you're a crazy person, I don't know what to say to that. Like, and I'm not talking about weird, because there's nothing wrong with being weird.
No, I'm
weird. We're all weird,
We've all met the crazy, and it's it's crazy. I mean, you know it when you see it.
But yeah, be you, and honestly, that's enough for me. Like I said, if I don't message you back or anything like that, if I didn't get to it, don't give up. I wouldn't say I'm like Gabriel Iglesias. If anybody ever saw me on the streets and like somehow knew who I was and they wanted to say hi, take a picture, don't hesitate to stop me along. If I'm not doing something important, do not hesitate to come up and talk to me and have a fun conversation. Because if you can take the time out of your busy day to actually watch my videos, I can take a few minutes to say hi or smile or take a picture or whatever, if it ever comes to that,
No, you're exactly right. So, what, as YouTubers and character channels, what is our most important duty to our fans? What do we owe them the most?
The one thing I owe them the most, and I'm not sure if I can speak for every YouTuber, just myself as a YouTuber, the one thing I owe my fans the most is to give them content that they know that they're, like say, because I have a lot of kids who watch my content, and the one thing I always got excited about is coming home and watching something good. Like, oh no, this is gonna be good. He's pumping a video out. give them something that's worth, you know, coming home to watch, you know? I want to give them something when they watch it, they felt satisfied that they watched this, or this is why I'm subscribed to this guy or her, you know?
Right.
They're doing that. And I think that's one of the most things, as a content creator, you have to create content. You know, you don't want to do lazy content. You don't want to, you know, act like you didn't put much effort into it. Some people do, some people don't, and you get different, you know, statistics or outcomes. I do. Whenever I make content, I want to make sure I put 100%. I give it my all, and it may not come out perfect, but I made sure I did everything I could to make it as good as possible for you to enjoy, you the viewer to enjoy, because that's my job as a content creator.
Right.
Is give you something good to watch.
Right. And I've had it so many times where I recorded a reaction and I'm playing it back and I noticed this mistake or that mistake or something technical like the audio, and I'm just thinking, you know what, it's fine, like, who cares? I just want to upload it and get it done. And then I think, you know what, I owe more to the people that watch. I need to give them the best things possible. Now that doesn't mean I don't make mistakes, because I do, but
as we all do.
You just want to, you know, don't just give them your first take, you know, do it until you think it's worth watching, you know, because if I'm not going to watch it, why would I expect someone else to watch it, you know?
You read my mind. That's always went through my mind when making a video.
Yeah.
And especially a cover song. Oh Lord, the level of how many I've been through. It's crazy. And you know, with me, like when I was doing a video, there's sometimes I accidentally cut off the audio and I'm like, oh, why'd I do that? And or if I hear a little bit of background, I was like, I really should have scrubbed that.
Yeah.
But then there are times you should not also. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to try, you know. I always said there's nothing wrong with trying to be a perfectionist or trying to just improve yourself, but do not, and I mean that, do not spend too much time on everything, because at the end of the day, if you spend too much time, you're going to burn yourself out, and it's going to be worse than what you thought or how it first looked in the beginning, because I've done that, where I thought, I can make this better, and then I just spend so much time, and it's been hours and hours. I haven't eaten, showered, or something like that. Like, it's just, dude, you can't make it any more better. You just you don't have the equipment, or it's just not that great.
You just gotta let it go.
Accept it how it is, and I'm sure they'll love it. You know, I'm sure they'll. Or if they don't love it, you just promise yourself you'll do better. You know, don't be sorry, be better.
Right. No, you're exactly right. And that brings us to our last question as we approach. We're almost at the 60-minute mark. So this has been an awesome hour. I've enjoyed every single second of it. I'm almost sad that I'm at my last question, but here we go. What is your advice? Because there are so many people out there, especially young people. You know, maybe they're in a tough situation. Maybe they don't have the equipment. Maybe they don't have the money. What is your advice to all those people that want to be YouTubers and they want to be like they watch Abridged Goku and they say, I want to be like that guy? What advice do you have for those people?
You know, coming from a place where, you know, I've been there, and I can honestly say I've been there. I come from that just not too long ago. The one thing that always got in my way was that fear of people not going to like me, or that fear that I'm not going to be good enough, I'm not going to be good as this guy. And my biggest advice is that's what's going to keep, the only person that really stops you from doing YouTube is you and yourself. That's really the only thing that's stopping. There's nothing else getting in your way as far as, you know, wanting to make a video. If you have like even a phone, you know, because I remember when I had a phone and just did some stuff there, made cover songs on the phone, and it's in the crappy audio that it had. That was my biggest obstacle, because the fear of being camera shy, not thinking I'm any good or be any as good as people who I looked up to, what kept me down for years. And I would just stay in the comments and type my opinion, but I never really acted like I could do this, you know? And I always felt that was the number one thing that kept me away for so long, when I could have done this years ago. Because looking back, that's, you know how you say life, you don't have regret. I think you can have a few regrets in life.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And my biggest regret was not jumping in 6 years ago when I knew when I was doing this 6 years ago.
Right.
And,
Right. Yeah.
Just was so shy, couldn't do it. And just that level of fear. Like there was a time I almost did it, you know, like 2 years after that, I almost did it, but I still just couldn't bring myself to do it. And that's my number one advice for you: do not be afraid. You know, don't be afraid to fail. You get knocked down, you get back up. If I can quote Rocky, it's not how hard you can get hit, it's how hard you can keep getting hit and keep going. You know, if you get knocked down, you get back up and you keep going. And yeah, that's my biggest advice for you. And don't worry about audio equipment; that'll come and go. You know, and spend. If you want to spend more time, develop your craft. You know, develop yourself and your channel, and it'll come to you. If you felt this is worth your time and you want to invest money into it, do it. If you don't feel it, and you're just not vibing to it, and if you think it's not for you, that's fine. You're never gonna know until you try.
Well, that's. I mean, I don't think we can leave on a better piece of advice than that. So, Abridged Goku, my man, my friend, thank you so much for being here. This has been awesome. This has been such an enlightening review, not a review, an interview. Yeah, it's just been great. Thank you so much for being here, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much for having me, sir.
Hey, it's been my pleasure. And hopefully we can have you back sometime.
Anytime, dude. I'm always here. Whether I'm grinding on YouTube or just chatting up in live streams. Anytime.
Sweet. Well, I look forward to it. But until then, can you give us our outro, sir?
Yes, sir. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, like and subscribe. And like I said, give subscribe to this guy, Nappa the Saiyan Elite, and your boy Abridged Goku. Thank you for watching, and may you all have a very nice day, guys. Take care of yourselves.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye!